And we're live! Sejam muito bem-vindos a mais um episódio do podcast Fale Fácil com Ana Azeitona e Pedro da Ilha. Eu sou a Ana Azeitona.
Eu sou o Pedro da Ilha.
E nós somos os cofundadores e mentores da SpeakEasy. E nossa missão é ajudar você a falar inglês para entrar no mercado internacional, ganhar em dólar e construir sua independência financeira e geográfica. Bora usar essa cotação do dólar a nosso favor, né?
Por favor.
E se você quiser mais informações sobre como a gente pode te ajudar a chegar lá, o nosso site é speakeasyonolive.com e tá aqui embaixo na descrição. E você também pode se inscrever para receber a nossa newsletter, onde você vai receber um novo episódio na sua caixa de e-mail todas as segundas às 18 horas. Toda segunda tem um novo episódio e aí você recebe a newsletter com esse novo episódio lá na sua caixa de e-mail. Então, tá aqui embaixo, é só você olhar o link e se inscrever. E também, quem se inscreve para a newsletter, entra no grupo de networking internacional, que tem tudo a ver com o que a gente vai falar hoje, que é networking. Então, se você quiser começar o seu networking internacional com outras AVs e freelancers e comigo, claro, né, e com a minha equipe, que estamos todo mundo lá trabalhando para entrar no mercado internacional, conseguir mais clientes internacionais, colaborar e ver todo mundo tendo sucesso, né, nessa jornada até o mercado internacional. Então, entra lá no grupo, segue no Facebook, porque nós temos lives semanais e encontros de networking, onde eu vou te falar tudo sobre como eu faço meu networking, como que os meus amigos empreendedores americanos, canadenses, igual a Carol e o Stefan, fazem o networking deles, e eu vou estar sempre dando dicas sobre isso, sobre prospecção de cliente, sobre tudo relacionado a você que é assistente virtual e freelancer e quer fechar mais clientes internacionais.
É isso aí. Então, você que é assistente virtual ou freelancer e quer internacionalizar a sua carreira, entra aqui agora no link, se inscreve na newsletter, entra para o nosso grupo privado, que você vai poder conversar com a Ana, tirar dúvida, talvez, quem sabe, até ser indicado por algum dos nossos parceiros. Mas para isso a gente precisa te conhecer, saber o que você faz.
Primeira regra do networking, né? Primeira regra do rolê. Se quer fazer um networking bom, apareça.
Você tem que ser visto, você tem que ser conhecido, senão fica difícil.
Não adianta. Eu recebo DM às vezes, né, Pedro? Falando assim, Ana, me indica, eu tô precisando, tô desempregada, tô sem cliente. Gente, mas eu nunca vi essa pessoa na minha vida, ou essa pessoa não participa ativamente. Ou seja, a pessoa não tá recebendo os conselhos, as coisas que eu falo, tanto no grupo quanto no Instagram, enfim. Se eu não te conheço, gente, isso não é networking. Pedir indicação não é networking.
Então, se você quer uma indicação nossa, já sabe o que fazer. Entrar no nosso grupo do Facebook, aparecer lá ao vivo, conversar com a gente, mostrar o que você faz, para a gente poder, aí sim, te indicar.
Exatamente. Porque eu também não vou indicar uma pessoa que eu não conheço, né, gente? Então, e se você quer ficar ainda mais próximo da gente, trabalhar com a gente, né? Além de somos excelentes mentores, você vai entrar para uma rede de networking muito mais próxima, que é no Clube Acelerador de Fluência. Se você precisa dar um up no seu inglês para você conseguir falar com esses clientes internacionais, ou a nossa mentoria internacional para você que é AV e freela e já fala inglês e só quer saber qual que é esse caminho de estar no Brasil e fechar clientes lá fora. A gente te ajuda no passo a passo para fechar o seu primeiro cliente em um mês. Lista de espera tá aqui embaixo, então não perde tempo, entra aí. E agora, para a gente falar sobre os nossos convidados, e o tópico de hoje, gente, é a quarta peça no seu quebra-cabeça do mercado internacional, que é o networking. Então, até agora, o que a gente já falou, Pedro? Quais são as outras peças?
Peça número 1, inglês. Se você quer prestar serviço internacional, ganhar em dólar, você precisa falar inglês. Peça número 2, serviço. Você tem que ter algum serviço para oferecer. O que você faz? Porque também, se você não presta serviço, vamos primeiro começar a prestar serviço, para depois você prestar serviço para fora. Pode começar juntos também, mas você precisa decidir um serviço que você vai prestar. Peça número 3, que tivemos um convidado super ilustre. Eu não vou falar sobre a peça número 3, para não ficar demais, né?
Eu falo da peça número 3, gente, porque o entrevistado especialíssimo foi o nosso querido Pedro da Ilha. Porque ele é o melhor problem solver que eu conheço, por isso que ele saiu de ser meu assistente e virou meu sócio. porque não consigo mais viver sem ele, né, gente? SpeakEasy já é agora Ana e Pedro. É SpeakEasy with Ana e Pedro.
É isso aí. Então, se você quer descobrir como se destacar no mercado, como ser aquele freelancer, aquela V que é aquele que é indicado, que o cliente lembra para trazer outros clientes, para te contratar de novo, assiste aí o último episódio, foi o último episódio? Assiste aí o episódio da peça número 3.
Isso.
Para você aprender como se destacar, como que você se torna um problem solver, ao invés de um executador de tarefa. E hoje, então, com a quarta peça, nós vamos falar sobre networking, que pra gente é o melhor caminho para você realmente conquistar clientes bons, clientes com quem você vai gostar de trabalhar, com quem você vai ter prazer de trabalhar e vai ser um prazer mútuo e vai ser benéfico para todo mundo.
Exato.
Então,
a quarta peça, gente, é a minha preferida, porque eu amo networking. Eu adoro conversar com as pessoas, conectar. E networking, gente, não é pedir serviço, pedir esse cliente, pedir para alguém te contratar. Isso não é networking. Isso é prospecção e fazer pitch. Networking é você começar a criar um relacionamento com as pessoas. Que, como eu já falei aqui 1000 vezes, e no grupo de networking, se você já viu qualquer coisa, eu sempre falo que tem 2 caminhos principais para você fechar clientes internacionais. Um deles são plataformas de jobs, que é uma estratégia, muita gente tem sucesso nela também. E a segunda estratégia é networking, um networking inteligente, estratégico, onde você sabe qual que é o seu cliente ideal e você sabe onde encontrar esse cliente para você conseguir fechar negócio de uma forma muito mais natural, muito mais tranquila. E para falar mais sobre networking e como fechar clientes aí no mundo digital, a gente trouxe 2 convidados super especiais, porque além de serem empreendedores incríveis, são também amigos nossos, que é a Carol Arco e o Stefan Mourik. E eles vão estar falando aqui um pouquinho pra gente qual que é a trajetória deles no empreendedorismo e como eles usam networking para melhorar o negócio deles e fechar mais clientes. Então, e tem uma novidade, né, Pedro? Essa vai ser nossa primeira entrevista em inglês. Se você não consegue acompanhar o inglês falado, você pode ativar as legendas aqui no cantinho. A gente vai ter legendas em português e inglês, né, automático do YouTube. Então, se você quiser fazer isso como uma prática de listening, maravilha, manda ver. E agora, a gente vai chamar nossos convidados especiais para virem falar um pouquinho sobre networking. Hello! Are you guys ready?
yeah!
Yeah!
I love the entrance.
Hey.
It was an awesome entrance. I love it.
Bom dia, boa noite.
Boa noite.
Boa noite. Yeah, we're recording this episode at night, so guys. Yeah, and also it comes out at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
so you're very accurate, Stefan.
Right.
Very good.
Awesome. So I didn't introduce you guys too much, so I'm gonna ask to each one of you to talk a bit about where you're from, where you live, and what's your business.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Sure. So my name is Stefan. It's literally pronounced as stay for fun without the for.
Good luck persuading that.
And I am originally from Holland. I was born and raised in Holland. And when I was about 22, I moved to Canada to work as a videographer in a marketing agency. And now I have my own video production business in Vancouver, Canada for about 4 years.
That's awesome. That's great, Stefan. Yeah, I always remember your name because of the stay for fun.
Yeah, easy to remember.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. So I'm Carol Arco in Portuguese. I was born and raised in Caxias do Sul, Rio Grande do Sul. So gaúchos, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Brazilians.
And I left Brazil in 2010, and now I live in North Vancouver in Canada for a number of years. And I work as a spiritual healer. I am a Reiki master teacher, ICF life coach, breathwork facilitator, and I've been running an online business helping people develop their spirituality for over 3 years now, fully online.
So awesome. You have so many hats, Carol. Like that was such a concise way to say it. Like, I love it. I need to rewatch this, and once I talk about you to other people, I'm gonna use that.
It's hard to explain what I do. Yeah, there's little words to translate it for sure.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. And you guys have both online businesses, which is great because we talk a lot about remote working and like being able to work from anywhere. And so that's a plus. And also you guys use the internet and online tools and social media to connect to potential clients. And I'm sure, I know Carol, and I think Stefan, if I remember well, you've done launches online. So launches, guys, you know, lançamento, it's where you do, you present your work for free in a way, in a class, in a workshop or a challenge. And then people have the opportunity to work with you after that. So there's a lot of online components and a lot of networking involved in all parts. But I'm really interested in recently, I know that both of you have been closing clients using either Facebook or networking groups. So starting with Stefan, because you already started, how do you use networking to get your business, you know, get more clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I used to be an employee, and then I started my own business, and I knew nothing about business. I know everything about video production, but nothing about business. And so the first thing that you need to do is find clients. And the first thing I did was actually go on the street and knock on people's door, on businesses' door, and ask, like, do you need some video content? And it actually, out of the about 50 people that I knocked on the door, one turned into a client about a year later. But I thought, well, there must be a more effective way to get clients than to walk all over the city. And so I came across this organization. It's called BNI. And it started in the United States, but it's a worldwide organization. They even have chapters in Brazil. And it basically is a network organization, and you become a member of that group. And once you become a member of the particular group, your profession is taken. That means for me as a videographer, I'm the only videographer in the group of people. And the other ones are like, there's so many different professions. There's realtors, there's builders, there are people in finance, like it goes everywhere, but only one can join of each thing, which is really cool because what happens is you start meeting these people on a regular basis, and naturally you start to build relationships with these people because you see them every week. And as you get to know each other a bit better, you get to learn what you do a bit more, and then you start to use their networks they're basically my sales team, because if they have someone in their network that is looking to get a video done, they're like, well, I know the guy, I know him very well, I see him every week. And then they introduce me, and that's how BNI works. And it's done miracles for my business because I get a lot of referrals from just that organization.
That's awesome. And guys, for those of you that don't know BNI, it stands for Business Networking International. And it, like Stefan said, it's an international organization. They have chapters in Canada and the USA, in Brazil, and I guess most countries, everywhere. Right?
Yeah, 72 countries.
72 countries.
Wow.
Awesome. And I've already talked about BNI in my social media because Stefan actually invited me to come to the meeting in Vancouver because, you know, it was 2020 and everything is online. So I didn't have to be physically there. And it was such a great experience. I had never been to any BNI meetings or any networking group. And it was incredible. Yes. Yeah, I do a lot of networking, guys, but not like an organized, structured, every week networking group. And that's what BNI is. And how did you hear about it, Stefan?
I was working with a coach at the time who told me you should go visit one of the BNI chapters. And funny enough, I went to visit one and I did not like the group at all. And I thought, oh, networking is not for me. It was all these older people, very stiff. It wasn't any fun. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to be for me. But then I met someone else who was in a different group and they said, oh, you should check out our group. And what I learned from that is that every group is completely different because the people that are in the group. So I found a group that I really liked and really resonated with. And then I became a member.
That's awesome. First of all, he said he was working with a coach, and that goes to the importance of selecting coaches, guys, which in Portuguese is mentores. I know we have this idea of like coaches, oh my God, and all the culture in Brazil, but in Canada and the US, people really use coaching because it's very effective. And if you find a good coach, you know, as in any profession, you have good ones and have bad ones. And when you find good ones, it makes all the difference. And that coach connected Stefan to BNI, and he tried it out. And what you said was so interesting because when we say the word networking or network, networking in English, in Portuguese we say networking.
Network.
Networking, yes. And we use networking to mean networking. Yeah, because when you say network, guys, that's a little nugget for English, you know, for you. When you say network, of course, it can mean like to network someone, but I think about a channel, like a TV channel, like a network.
Right.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network.
A Cartoon Network.
Maybe that's more of an American thing. I think in Canada, we don't, I guess use that word too much.
For network, for like a channel?
No?
There's networks, yeah. TV networks, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we are in the world of business, so we only associate network with like business.
Yeah, no, for sure. So when we say networking, either in Portuguese or English, I don't know, like in the US, how people think about it. But in Brazil, I always thought about like networking events about like what you just said, older people, business, stiff, kind of like those boring events. So now we're trying to change this idea of like what networking really is, and especially online. It can be fun and light and just like making new friends that can help you launch your business and grow your business, get new clients. So, and what you said about the group making a difference, and that's true, guys. Like in any context, a group can be very different. Networking can feel very different depending on the group of people that you're a part of. So if you don't like one experience, just go to the next one.
Yes, don't give up. Don't give up, because it always depends on the people you're working with, you're connecting with. And when you find the right people, when you find the group that you want to be part of, when you find the client you want to work for, everything changes. That's when magic happens. That's when you get happy, you get excited about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And Stefan, so the BNI, you have to pay. Is it a free group? How does that work?
Yeah, you have to pay to become a member so that you lock out your competition for any other professions to join the group. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fees are because it might depend on the country, but mm-hmm. When I joined, I paid for my membership, and in the second month of my membership, I got a referral from the group, which paid for the membership for the whole year. So that was easy, and then from there it just starts going. Yeah,
that's great. So you had to invest, you had to pay, but it paid off.
It's nice because you know that everyone who is there also paid, so everyone is invested and committed. It's not just like a group, like we're getting together as a group of friends. People are serious about it. They're still fun, but you know, ultimately we're running a business, and so we need to get referrals for each other.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of difference. The commitment we have, guys, when we pay for something and when something is free is different. But that's awesome. BNI is amazing. I had a lot of fun participating. I went as a guest, and I was able to meet a lot of great people, and they were very welcoming. Your chapter was very welcoming. I love the experience.
And you can, I didn't say that, but like you said, you can join as a guest for free to the same group 2 times in 6 months. So if you just want to try it out, that's the beauty. It's online. You can go to BNI, find a chapter near your area, just visit it online. It takes about an hour and a half for the meeting. And the meeting is structured the same all around the world. So if you want to go to Italy, go to Italy and join a meeting there. It's going to be the same thing. That's the cool part.
Yes, that's a huge advantage of joining BNI because it's an international organization. You can join a Brazilian chapter and then participate in meetings in different countries. And usually, Stefan, that happens like physical meetings, right? Like you have to go, you have to be in the place.
Yeah, before COVID, it was all in person. And so you actually, our group met in the mornings. So we would all have a breakfast. It would be a breakfast meeting. So you eat food and you do some networking. But then COVID happened and they had to switch to online, which made a massive difference because now you can literally visit chapters anywhere in the world.
Yes, that made all the difference. And now I think maybe, I don't know how BNI feels about it, but I feel like there will pop out more online chapters.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a massive benefit to it. There's going to be differences where for some businesses it's better to stay local and they might want to do it in person. I know our group has talked about the option of doing a hybrid, so maybe 3 times a month it's online and one time a month it's in person. But yeah, the possibilities are endless with online for sure.
Yeah. And besides that, you can be in a chapter in Brazil, wherever you are, and also look up like the chapters from other countries and get in touch with people, even if we go back to in person and there's not so many online meetings anymore, which I think it's not going to happen. But if that happens, you still have the directory, right, Stefan?
Yeah, 100%. You can literally, I know there's people in my group even that have family in London, in England, and they know that their family was part of BNI, so they're like, well, we're looking for a plumber in this and this area. Is there any way you could find something in your BNI network? And they were able to find someone through the different. So, and that's the good thing is like, because people are members, they're invested in their business, so they want to do a good job. So there's good people in the BNI groups.
Yeah, it's kind of like a referral, a more qualified referral, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And is your business, like, are your clients coming majoritely? No, it's majority. I spent too much time in Brazil. My English is
The majority of my clients.
Yes.
Is it coming through BNI? Is that
yes,
the question?
That is the question.
That's the question.
I think indirectly, yes, because what happens is someone in BNI sends me a referral and I do a job for that person. And then that person was really happy with the job and they sent me another referral, which ultimately comes back to this happened in BNI. So I've got a lot of clients now that came from a referral, which leads back to BNI.
Awesome. That's great. No, I made business when I went to his BNI chapter as a guest. I closed a client as a VA. So VAs and freelancers, pay attention.
And don't be afraid to pay for things. Like, don't be afraid of investing, because like Stefan just said, when you pay for something, you're committed. So when you're in a group of people who are paying for it, they're all committed to the final goal, which is close clients, make networking,
Grow your business.
Growing a business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we see a lot in our community of VAs, especially people that don't want to pay for anything. And guys, we're not saying pay for everything and getting to every paid group and course out there, but do your research and invest in those channels that are really going to bring you more business.
Yes, and when we say invest, we're not
helping first, right?
Yeah, helping and get help.
I think what's really cool about online networking, especially for your audience like VAs and freelancers, is you get to decide who you want to work with. So you go out and find the people that you really resonate with, rather than looking for who's looking for a VA. It's like, who do I want to work for as a VA?
Yes. Perfect, because we talked about that. I talked about that on a live. Well, it's inside the Facebook group, guys. Go and look it up. But I was talking about finding clients, and the first step is knowing who you want to work with, because that's the power, that's the beauty of being a freelancer, a VA. So that is so powerful. And if you find a group where you feel good, like BNI, you can visit them before you commit, and you can see if that group, that energy, those people are the ones that you want to be helping and be helped from. Mm-hmm. So awesome, Stefan. Like I if other questions come up, I will ask you later. But now I want to know Carol's experience, because I know, Carol, you've been to BNI too. So if you want to start with that, if you have gotten business and or good connections. Otherwise, I'd like to know how you are doing your networking.
Sure. Yeah. So I think my first experience with networking was through BNI. It was just through Stefan, because of course he was going so much. So I would go as guests and sometimes sub for people. So people who couldn't be there, I would sub for them. And my first impression was very much like you said, it was very stiff, and like, I really don't like this, it's too formal, it's too structured. So I really didn't like networking. That being said, like, I've made some really beautiful friendships from his networking business, from those meetings, of getting to know other people who we have things in common, and became like relationships outside of the networking. So it's very valuable. And when I decided to start networking, I kind of like, I was very open. So I told myself I would give it a try for BNI again, and I would go to different kind of groups. And what I did at first is I went on Facebook and I put, the name of my city, Vancouver, and I put woman in business, because I know that I want to work mostly with women. And then I found all these Facebook groups with different names of like women in business in Vancouver. And I did the same thing from Toronto, and I did the same thing for Calgary, like all these major Canadian cities. Mm-hmm. So when I found these Facebook groups, I started seeing if they had events going on. And some of them did. Some of them had like a Friday morning networking event, and I started attending those. And that felt a lot more home for me, because it was talking to a group of women. It was something that was more informal. And at the same time, it was still very personal and very business related. So, So I started attending those networking groups. And then I saw that, for an example, the Vancouver Woman in Business networking group is a pretty big Facebook group. They only had one meeting that it was on Friday morning. So I got in touch with the admin of the group, and I asked, would you be okay if I throw an evening meeting for the women who cannot do it in the morning? And she's like, yeah, that's great. That sounds like a great idea. So I started my own meeting inside that group as well.
Amazing.
And it's great. And so this is some things. And then of course, like by going, again, all Facebook, that's what I went. And Meetup. I actually went a lot on Meetup. If you're not familiar with Meetup, I recommend it as well. And I found this organization called Happy Healthy Women, which is kind of like a BNI for women only, and is very much focused on like wellness, health and wellness. So people in those professions. And so I started going to their meetings, and I found that that was definitely the kind of people that I wanted to bring in for my business. And I became a member of that organization. And as a member of that organization, you have the option to throw events and to expose your work in different platforms, and to also meet with lots of other women around the world. So that has been really good as well. That has worked really well for me.
Oh my goodness. I hope you guys are taking notes, you that's watching us, because what Carol just described is like the perfect process of using Facebook groups for networking. That's Amazing. That's what I've been teaching people, Carol. And there, so many people are so lost, but I think it's more related to what Stefan was saying. Like, you don't know who you want to work with. So the internet becomes this like huge, overwhelming sea of options. But when you get some clarity, so asking yourself, who do you want to work with? Like Carol said, I want to work with women in business in Canada, in major cities. So that narrows down a lot of what you can find on Facebook and on the internet. And she also mentioned something so nice, which is the Happy Healthy Women. Is that the name of the group?
Yeah.
So is it like a membership that you have to pay monthly to be a member?
They have different options of how you can join the community. So the first option, they literally have like hundreds of events that happen every single week. And there's events on business, business developments, and there's events on like I give breathwork sessions, right? Or I do meditation journeys. So if you become what they call a wellpreneur, you pay $14.95 Canadian dollars a month, and you have access to all these events for free. So yeah, you like broaden your exposure in a really beautiful way. And then if you go a tier up, which is called the trailblazer, you become sort of like a leader, and then you can throw your own events inside the group, and you can also use the Facebook groups and use the platforms that they have, their websites, to promote your content and get more leads that way. Awesome. And then you also have the option to become a branch director. So you start your own group in your city. So Happy Healthy Woman now, it's becoming from a Canadian organization to a global organization. And if you want to start like a Happy Healthy Woman branch in Brazil, you can be the director, and Happy Healthy Woman will give you all the tools and the guidelines of how to get that going. So awesome. Yeah, it's a great opportunity for VAs or freelancers who are women and who are looking for women who have a special interest on health and wellness, especially.
Yes.
So someone else wants to say hi.
Hello.
Fuka wants to say hi.
Yeah. Fuka's great at networking too. You just put her in any room and she'll talk to everyone.
I bet. Oh my goodness, I want to bring all the pets.
What's her name?
Out.
Fuka.
Luca. Okay, guys, for you who are listening to this on Spotify or Apple or anything, that for you guys who are not watching the video, we're talking about a dog. Okay? A very cute dog that's on video right now.
Great, that's really good. Good reminder. Cool. And Carol, first of all, this membership style group, I've been seeing these on Facebook everywhere, and it's really good because then it's what we were saying about committing, paying for something to really participate and be active at it. And then I love this tier idea. Like the more involved you want to be, the more of a leader you want to be inside of the group, the more you pay, but also the more you get from it. And which tier are you on right now?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I am Trailblazer. So cool. I work within one specific branch, which is the Vancouver branch, but I also have the option to, again, promote my events within all of Happy Healthy Women all across Canada.
Awesome. That's really great. That's really great. And it's like other women that are in business, like in a similar type of business. So you get clients, you get collaborators, you get inspiration.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you get lots of collaborations, like definitely opportunity for getting clients. And it's really beautiful, like just different kind of business. So there was like a sex coach, for example, and I hired a sex coach, and there was a lot of lady who hired me, and you just start creating this big web of relations. And what I'm finding with networking as well, it is very much about relationships, and we need to go into it with that mindset of we are creating community. And one thing that BNI actually taught me was they have the motto called Giver's Gain, which is pretty much the more you give, the more you gain in return. And I think that's a really good mindset to go into networking. You're never going there just to get the clients, but you're going there to give, right? So when I started networking, now I have these women who come back to my networking groups like consistently. And I figured out that there were women who were selling house products, and I was like, why am I buying house cleaning products on the supermarket if I can support these women? And then another woman was selling supplements. So I'm like, why am I buying supplements at the pharmacy if I can buy from these women? And I started supporting them that way. And that way they remember me as well, because they know that I've helped them. And when somebody's like, oh, I need somebody who has that kind of service, they will think about me because I've been creating that relationship.
That's amazing.
So it is very important that you kind of go into it, I think, of like giving, you're first giving, and then, yes. Yeah,
exactly. No, that's so good that you're bringing that up, because guys, the first rule of networking is give before you receive anything. That should be your motive in life. But creating community is always something so valuable because people want to help you. It's not just about the business. It's not just about being a group or paying for something and participating. It's about collaboration. It's about community. And it's a global community. I love that.
Yes, and remember that, like you, VA or freelancer, when you go to a network group, you're not going to a freelance platform. It's not Upwork. It's not a place where you're just going to get clients and that's it. You're going to give something and get something in return.
Yeah.
And then, don't treat network like platforms.
Yes. And I feel like the first thing you give is yourself. It's your presence. It's your personality, you getting in touch with people, connecting. I think that's the first thing you give there. And then you see how you can help people even more.
Yeah, I was going to say that's exactly, if you feel like you don't have much to give, you can give your presence. And in the way to do that, someone told me this line, it was really interesting. It's much better to be interesting. Sorry, I said it wrong. It's better to be interested than interesting, which means it's much better to ask questions and just be present and just listen to what other people have to say. So you're interested in what they do, because they're going to remember you as someone who is interested and engaging. And oftentimes I've had people reach out to me that I forgot about, but they're like, hey, I remembered you because you asked many good questions. And it just shows there's so many people that are just there to talk about themselves, put all their info in the chat, and then run away. And I don't think that really works. If you spend the time with one person and give them half hour of your time and just really get to learn about them, that's going to be so much more effective than dropping in here, try out my stuff. Bye.
Yep. Definitely. And Carol, I really want to bring up how we met, because I think it makes all the sense. So do you want to tell everyone how we met?
Well, we were part of a mastermind, I guess you can call it. It's an online program for a big mentor, an American mentor. And he has a Facebook group for all the people who are participating on the program. And so Fuka, sorry, she's trying to now go inside the desk almost. So we were inside that Facebook group, and I think, did you post a post of is there any other Brazilians in the Facebook group, or how did we figure out that we're both Brazilians? I don't quite remember that.
No, I went to a coaching call. I think one of the first ones, and you were one of the hot seats.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed your accent, Caroline. I was like, she has to be Brazilian.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I reached out to Carol because I was like, oh my God, a Brazilian in an American group. Of course, we connect, just because. And then I told her, I was like, oh my God, let's connect and see how we can. I think it wasn't even like a business collaboration or anything. It was just like, let's be friends.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. And that is the beauty of network as well. Is sometimes you will make really good friends out of it, and if you're just open to it, you will make really good friendships. I think this is, of course, super valuable as well. Why wouldn't you, right? Want to meet great people and build your community that way. I think that's great.
No, it's amazing. And it's someone that's going through the same thing as you. They are in a group. They got there because they have a goal. Either build community, meet people, make more business, close more clients. Everybody's in the same journey. So you have a lot to relate to.
Yeah, it's important to have friends who are on the same journey as you, because then you can mutually help each other.
And Pedro, where can you find other VAs that want to make dollars and close international clients?
Sorry, what?
Where can you find VAs that are trying to network internationally?
Where can I find VAs?
Yes.
In my network group.
Yes.
Of course. My networking group on Facebook. We have one. If you're not there yet, click on the link below and go there.
I'm like, am I putting him in hot water?
And may I just say that because I go to lots of networkings, the VAs are in such high demand right now. Like there's a lot of demand for VAs internationally.
Yes.
Yeah, if you are a VA and you don't have work, like trust me, there's a lot of work out there for you.
Thank you.
You, VA, freelancer, did you hear that? Did you hear what Carol just said?
It's true, guys. We're not making it up. But it's so great because Carol recently connected me to a friend of hers from the group. And I got to participate in the group. And I started like seeing what it is and participating slowly to see if it makes sense for me. And I've been loving the group, Carol. So it was a great referral and a great group referral too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
That's awesome. And on top of that, guys, me and Carol and Stefan and Pedro, we never met in person. So it's like, she's a close friend. I love talking to her and we've exchanged so much business-wise and like personally, and we don't even know each other in person. So that's the power of the internet and community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, guys. And
I always forget that you guys don't know each other in person because you're so like your friendship is so strong.
It's great. So there's so much we can talk about. Like I have so many questions, but our time's kind of up. So I'm gonna have you guys over for another episode later. If you guys would like to come back.
Sure.
That's awesome. I would like to know from you if you have any last pieces of advice for our VAs and freelancers that are listening to this episode of like networking and finding clients. Like if you could give people one advice, what would that be?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So you have some time
So
to
I have
think.
time to think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of advice you can give.
Yeah.
The one thing.
Just one. It's
When you
not like
advice, people are just like, oh, you want to hear blah, 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 they give you like a massive list of advice. So
just like a hot tip. Like if you were to choose one thing that you would do that really works closing clients, what would that be?
Yeah, I think the hot tip that I'm going to give is from, again, my networking groups and seeing that a lot of people don't do that is when you are in a networking group in a room, have a little notebook and take notes of what people are saying, like take notes of this is their name, that's what they do. And sometimes if somebody says, oh, I'm looking for a painter, you think in your head, like, who do I know that is a painter? So I can refer to that person. So have that proactive style of constantly thinking, how can I help here? And then following up with people is so important. I mean, I could be better at it, but honestly, I feel like all of my business have been from the follow-up, Nobody's going to see you on the network, like see your website and close with you. I think that's pretty rare. It's like once you bring the conversation one-to-one and you start talking on Messenger or whatever, and then that evolves from there. So don't be afraid to follow up with people, right? To be like, hey, I saw you yesterday. That was great. Love to learn more about you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That would
be so important. Yeah, having that giver's mindset, like how can I help? Because people do value that, like you guys said, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have time to think?
Technically, she stole my tip because it was about following up. That's the most important thing.
They're in sync.
But
Yeah.
I think I'll go back to like when you do follow up and you're like, hey, it was great meeting you, and maybe insert something personal about them and that really interested you, and then ask if they're open to a quick call or something to learn a little bit more. And then it's really, again, about not talking about yourself, but listening. Like try to listen more. You have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, right? So
Yes.
try to listen more than that you talk. I think that is the key.
Yes, I love that. I love that, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And if people want to get connected with you, know more what you do, because we might have, people from everywhere watching this, I'm gonna get your information linked. But where is the best place to connect with you? Facebook, Instagram, website?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at lucidvisuals.ca, and that's also my website. Way down there.
It's down there on YouTube or description on anywhere you're listening this.
I'm looking, but I don't see it here.
It's on our side. Our side of the
Okay,
table.
okay. It's in Brazil. It's in Brazil.
How about you, Carol?
Yeah, I'm on both as well. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can join my meetup group, which is going to be somewhere around here too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here. And yes, we could be talking here for hours. I love this topic. I love both of you. So I'll see you next time on the next episode. And for you, the people that are listening, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, leave us a comment, email us at contato@speakeasy.com ou acha a gente no Instagram, no Facebook, agora indo para o português.
Do nada.
Do nada. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.